raspberry jam filled Boneyard cookies.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for yoyomax12.
Hello everyone. To make the cookies, you're going to start off with 1 cup of powdered sugar, also called confectioner sugar or icing sugar. Add to that 1/2 cup of cornstarch and just give it a little stir. Then you're going to put in 1/2 cup of cold butter that's been cubed, and then you're going to cut in the butter into that powdered sugar and cornstarch using a pastry blender or a couple of butter knives until you get coarse crumbs. Then blend in 2 eggs, one at a time, and add 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Now you're going to gradually beat in 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt until you get a soft dough. Once the dough comes together, take it out of the bowl, wrap it up in plastic wrap, or in this case I'm putting it in a Ziploc bag, then press the dough ball flat and put it in the refrigerator to chill for about 30 minutes. This will make the dough a little bit easier to handle later on. Sometimes it's easier to work with half of the dough at once, so that's what I did. I cut that large piece into 2, and then I rolled it flat between pieces of parchment paper until it was 1/4 of an inch thick. And then I cut it out using this dog bone shaped cookie cutter, which I bought at a local bulk food store, and it had a recipe for sugar cookies and also for dog biscuits. If you want to see this dog biscuit recipe, let me know, maybe I'll make it. So I took that cookie cutter and cut out the bone shapes, as many as you'll need. Just make sure that they are in pairs because you'll need 2 of those to make 1 cookie at the end. Now if you're having trouble getting those bone shapes out of the dough, what I suggest you do is put the whole thing just like it is right now on a cookie sheet and just chill it in the freezer for about 10 minutes, and it'll be a lot easier to scoop them off that piece of parchment paper like I'm doing right now. Then put them on a cookie sheet that's been lightly greased or covered with a silicone mat or parchment paper and bake them at 350 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes until they are set and they're just the tiniest bit beige on the bottom. And here are the cookies baked and cooled. As you can see, they don't spread very much and they certainly don't change color very much. They're just a tiny bit brown on the bottom. Now we're ready to fill them. So what we're going to do is take 2 cookies, and they have kind of a flat side and a rougher side. Get some white chocolate or some candy melt it, put it in a Ziploc bag with the corner cut off, and then you're going to just draw a line all the way around the edge of that dog bone cookie on the rough side, or the side that was facing the cookie sheet. This is going to act like a little wall or a little barrier that's going to keep the jam from escaping. Now we're going to put in the jam. I'm just using a raspberry jam. You can use whatever kind of jam you want to fill these with, but red is a better color because we wanted to make it look like bone marrow. I put it in a Ziploc bag with the corner cut off just because it was easier to use, but you can just spoon that in there too. Then take that second cookie with the nice side up, the flat side up, put it on top, press down very lightly, and then just allow it to set. I threw mine in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes. It didn't take long at all. Once your cookies are all assembled and set, you can coat them with additional white chocolate. These are white candy melts actually, and I just put the completed cookies inside the candy melts, submerge them completely, and then allow the excess to drip off. And then I placed the cookies on a cookie sheet that was covered with a silicone mat, and actually I even added a piece of waxed paper on there just to make cleanup a bit easier, and allow those to set. You can see the surprise inside when you bite into the cookie and you see that red bone marrow. This sugar cookie recipe is perfect for cutouts because it doesn't spread very much and it retains the shape of the cutout. So it's a great recipe to use for these kinds of cookies. If you can't find your own dog bone shaped cookie cutters, you can make your own. It's actually simpler than you think. If you want to see how to make your own cookie cutters, go ahead and click right on your screen. I've done a video on that. And at the same time, you can see how to make these colorful corn cookies. Thanks for watching.